Ask the man on the streets which entertainment industry American Jews played the most important role in, and the answer will inevitably be Hollywood and US cinema. However, American jazz pianist Ben Sidran's latest book details the crucial role played by Jewish pioneers in the story of American pop music. Ben started playing the piano at the age of 5, and his collaborations since then read as some of the biggest names in international pop and rock, from forming part of the Steve Miller Band to working with Eric Clapton and the Rolling Stones while living in England. Ben is in Europe again on tour, and we spoke backstage in Madrid about what inspired him to write his alternative history to the great American songbook.
Well, it comes from a course I taught at the University of Wisconsin, which was originally titled Irving Berlin to the Beastie Boys. You know, it's the 20th century in popular music. And the fact is that even though the Jews have only been 2% of the American population, they've contributed like 80% to the popular music, both composers and performers and producers and executives and lawyers. So the book that I wrote that came from this course traces that history, and it's called There Was a Fire, Jews, Music, and the American Dream, and it connects the Jewish experience in popular music with the development of an American dream and what that might be.
Ben did not give his Jewish background a real foothold in his daily life until his son, who today plays drums in the band, turned 5 years old, and as a father, he wanted to pass on some of his Jewishness, as he recounts in the book. In a similar way, many American Jews in the music industry decided to either fully assimilate into US society or downplay their heritage.
You know, they asked Irving Berlin, what does being Jewish have to do with your success after all? You know, I mean, he came to the country and 6 years old, spoke only Yiddish, and he was very successful. And he said, absolutely nothing. I'm an American. He wrote White Christmas. He wrote a song about Easter, but he never wrote really a Jewish song. If you check George Gershwin, they asked, what does being Jewish have to do with your success? He said, nothing. I'm an American composer. They asked Bob Dylan, nothing. So one of the reasons is that saying being a Jew has nothing to do with it is probably the most Jewish thing you can say in America. That's the typical response. And so I think that's part of the reason Jews have been hesitant to point out the enormous influence they've had.
Despite worries from some quarters about the future of Jewish communities in the US if intermarriage and low birth rates continue uninhibited, Ben thinks this shows a flawed understanding of the nature of the Jewish story in America.
It's not that the Jews have become Americanized, it's that America has become Jewish in many ways. And so the trail and the impact of what's Jewish in America is very rich and very profound. And one of the reasons I wanted to write that book is to say, look, this is Jewish. The saying on the base of the Statue of Liberty, give me your tired, your poor, your tempest-tossed, that was written by a Jewish girl, Emma Lazarus. That is the core of the American dream, and that's a Jewish dream. After all, we are 50% of the Jewish population in the world. So where the United States goes, it's not incidental to the Jewish story.
The Jewish tradition has always incorporated an oral element, and Ben Sidran shows that it was the verse, chorus, and middle eight that became its new tropes in 20th century America. This is Paul Walsh reporting for JM1 in Spain.